Hi, my name is Aaron Sperber, and this is my case study for Module 11, EDL 856. Report on the case summary. Who's involved? The school parents of a parent organization are involved. The principal is also involved. Those that could be potentially involved would be the students and the Board of Education, as well as the community as a whole. Where and when did this happen? You had an event last spring when parents decided to end their association with the PTA and form their own individual parent group. And then you also have a meeting, much more recent meeting on Thursday at the principal's office, in which the principal met with representatives of that parent organization. A little bit of a case summary of what happened. Basically, you have this parent organization that decided to end their affiliation with PTA. They formed their own independent group. And when they met with the principal, they shared their plans to change the back to school night. At the meeting, they raised concerns about parents not really knowing what was going on, that the current format for the back to school night was making parents more confused and only really showed them what their child's schedule was for their classes, and that they wanted to have greater participation and greater understanding. They also indicated that they would like to create committees that would evaluate the discipline of the school, teacher performance, curriculum, and also just evaluate the school in general. These committees would also want to collect data from different stakeholders and observe school conditions as well. Some of the legal and ethical issues that are at hand here. First of all, you have the Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act of 1974. This act gives parents the right to view their children's school records. It gives them a right to ask for a correction of those records and to have it explained if necessary. You also have the Every Student Succeeds Act, and this gives parents the right to volunteer, participate, observe their child's classroom, those types of things. So you have to allow the parent to do those things. Also, parents have the right to participate in council and committees. They also have the right to attend board meetings and express their concerns at those board meetings as well. Some ethical issues that could arise if you give parents some of the ability to make decisions for the school and evaluate teachers and things like that is they might give a teacher a poor evaluation just because they personally don't like that teacher. They might abuse that power. So that's an ethical issue potentially. Synthesize what is happening. In essence, the parents of this parent organization want more information on the operation of the school and greater input in its policies and curriculum. Synthesize the facts. What we know about the people involved. The principal has worked well with the PTA in the past. The president of the parents organization is a young attorney, and the members of the organization have split with PTA and formed their own group. Some unknown facts. We don't know the thoughts of any of this from the Board of Education. We do not know the racial, gender, or socioeconomic status of these parents as well. Section 4, synthesize the facts. Some of the places that are involved, basically the school, obviously the principal's office. We do know the school recently held a bond referendum to add an addition to the school. Some of the unknown facts: we don't know the details surrounding the physical condition of the entire school, nor the demographics of the community. We also do not know if that referendum passed or not. Also, Synthesize the Facts program. So some of the known facts. We know that the parent organizations would like to have a greater input on the policies and curriculum of the school. However, we do not know if it is a private or public school, and we also don't know what programs, special ed, things like that, are in use. Reviewing the information, potential issues caused. So it depends on really what the principal, how they respond. It could damage relationships between the school and the parents. Stakeholders that are involved in this outcome. Obviously, the principal, that's supposed to be me. The students, obviously, could have a big impact. This could have a big impact on them. And then also parents and community members, the future employees potentially of these students. Stakeholders, were they consulted? The Board of Education, as of this case study, has not yet been consulted. Obviously, the parents and the administration are involved. What else can I learn? I can learn, what the Board of Education view is on this proposal. What forms of communication has the school used in the past in order to engage parents, and resources are available to school and parents. So those are things that would be helpful to know to make a sound decision. However, I do believe that there is enough information to make a decision. Section 6, what can I do in this situation? Well, my first option is to essentially tell the parents we're going to operate just as we did with the previous PTA group, and that's the level of involvement that I'm going to allow. Some of the consequences of this: parents could be offended by my lack of interest in accommodating their concerns and requests. This could lead to a lack of parent support in the future. Also, obviously, they might feel that their rights are being encroached upon, and so you could have some kind of legal issue potentially. Option 2, I could tell the president of the organization that I fully support the organization's eagerness to be an equal partner in the decision-making process of the school. I could then set about finalizing plans to implement the parents' plan for back-to-school night, including preparing the teachers for their role in the plan. I could also coordinate with parent committees to schedule observations and the sharing of school data. This would obviously create a much greater workload for the teachers. They might not have as much time to devote to instruction because of this. And it also could lead to a inconsistent vision for the school when you have two groups kind of vying for what they want to see out of the school in policy and curriculum. My third option is I could tell the parents that I appreciate their enthusiasm for improving the school and that I welcomed and encouraged their involvement. At the same time, we need to maintain continuity within the school, and that I would not want to compromise student instruction by overworking and distracting teachers. Therefore, we should find a middle ground with every student's success as the main priority. I would tell them that in order to reach this middle ground as equal and fairly as possible, I would consult with the superintendent and the Board of Education. Once I have consulted with those members, I would offer this. I would provide parents and the community with surveys that cover the parents' areas of concern and use those surveys to implement changes. I'd also allocate a start of the year in-service to have teachers create a 15 to 20-minute video about their classroom procedures, syllabus, curriculum, and then have them upload those onto the school website. I would also invite parents to come and sit in on class, let them observe classes at their leisure. Consequences of this, some parents still might not feel like enough is being done, and they might, discontinue their support of the school, maybe complain to the school board, something like that. Now, evaluating the options, really, if I go with option one, that'll save the teachers all the extra work. They'll take very little time or effort. But obviously, then I have the situation of offending the parents, maybe making them feel like they are not receiving their due rights. Option two, one of the main pros to that would be you keep the parents content and happy, and you have support, and the parents will be well informed, which is important for the school as well. Pros for option three, the school will have continuity for that overall vision and focus of the school. Parents will be better informed about their children's classes. And then also you have parent and community groups that have input in the school's functions. They get to have that input, but you're not sacrificing preparation time as much for the teachers, and you don't lose that focus on the students as much. And so then cons would be for option two, the teachers would take a greater workload on in preparing those presentations. They lose time. That would be a lot for them to do a whole week of parent-teacher conferences. And I think this could lead to less productive student outcomes. And then the cons for option three, some parents might not feel enough is being done, like we talked about earlier. What do I think is the best option? I think option three is my best option. It would involve consulting with all major stakeholders. It also takes care of finding that middle ground between student interests, teacher interests, parent interests, and it still allows for that stability in school. And so the most important thing is that would create the greatest possibility for all students to improve. This plan also creates collaboration between the school and diverse community groups or community members. It also uses resources to improve student learning. To implement this decision, I would have to follow several steps. Step one, inform the officers of the organization of the decision. Also ask IT to make sure teachers know how to create and upload videos to the website. Set aside the time for in-service and schedule that. Find an online delivery system for the surveys. Create a different survey for each situation and send them out. And then collect that data and make implementations if possible. And then communicate those changes to the parents in the community via multimedia outlets, whether that be email, newsletters, the school website, social media. And then also need to address consequences. Some parents still might not be happy, might sit down and meet with them and come to another compromise that benefits both parties. And then the parents obviously need to know the superintendent, the Board of Education, the teachers. My plan B would be to sit down and communicate with those members and work out some modifications. All right, thank you very much for watching.